Where Jeremiah, he was going through difficult times. Now remember, Jeremiah, he was one of the major prophets who saw the Israelites, what they were going through when they were going to the captivity. Are you hearing something here? And these people, there were people who were abusing them, and you could see with his own eyes. And when he was crying like that, and now God began to remind him, I knew you before you were born. It doesn't matter what you are going through. If you think that the situation is too big, God knew you before you were born, that you will overcome the situation. Somebody shout, I will overcome the situation. We think we will never overcome. But God knew us before we were born, that we are the right people for those situations. And God will use us as a vessel to overcome those situations. Jeremiah, they had a situation. People were taken to captivity. And God, he's expecting Jeremiah to prophesy and speak hope in the Israelites. Let me talk to you. Can you just raise your hands? Look at what is happening now in South Africa. The demons are busy destroying our celebrities. They are doing what? I come in every spirit that want to destroy all our celebrities in the name of Jesus. They will never kill themselves in the name of Jesus. No supernatural power that will come and make them to kill themselves in the name of Jesus. There are situations sometimes you will find yourself in, but when you look at your age and yourself, you will think you will never overcome. Jeremiah, he was on that situation. When he think about the situation, 17 years of age, and yet this is the situation before me, and God is expecting Jeremiah to prophesy. Oh, he said, Jeremiah, when your mother died, I knew you before you were born, that you will overcome even though your mother died. You're not hearing what I'm talking about here. When your father died, while you are still early age, God knew that you will overcome. What has conquered your father, it will never conquer you. What has conquered your mother, it will never conquer you. Somebody stand up and say, I shall overcome. He said, I knew you before you are. The fact that your mother is suffering or your family is suffering, it doesn't mean God doesn't see it. You might look like you are too young when you see that situation. Can't God has just appointed you to come and address the situation. Some of you have want to address the situation at home. God will use you like Jeremiah, who cried and God went back and reminded him. May God remind you the plan. 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 Somebody stand up and say, God remind me the plan. Why I am born. The man who was in the beautiful gate, everyone was entering the church, and the guy was so crippled. And when God was looking at that man, everyone was feeling pity. They were giving him some money. But God has a plan of Peter and John, that one day they will come in the beautiful gate and they will tell him and say, silver and gold we don't have, but what we have is what we're gonna give it to you. That sickness you are going through, you might be going everywhere, but you feel like this sickness, the same way it has killed your family members, it will kill you. God reminded Jeremiah and he said, I knew you before you were born. Listen, he said, not before you were born only, but I set you apart. Listen, my hands. Read for me.
Oh, sovereign Lord,
oh, sovereign Lord,
I can't speak for you.
I can't
I'm
what?
too young.
I can't speak. What's one day we go to Java tomorrow? I guess you know more. Get what's stress sometimes. Sit over Tauri. Una mele taxi, Uru Isheba goes spilling sa driver, Okuma no see the week. Over the go. My friend, eat inches of water. remembered Jeremiah and he reminded him, I knew you before you were born. Who is saying what? Let me tell you something. When God speaks with he speaks with the prophet Isaiah. There was a situation which was taking place. Israelites that time, they spoke with the Judah and they made an alliance and they said they will be against who? They will be against Jerusalem. And you're not hearing what I'm saying here. And when they were busy doing an alliance to fight against it, the Bible says there was a trembling and fear. That is why in the book of Isaiah he say, come and reason together. It doesn't matter how people they are conspiring, how powerful they are. Oh, you're not hearing something here. He told the prophet Isaiah, he said it doesn't matter. Even though they are multiplying themselves, they will never overcome you. There is a time where you see one situation. After situation, there's another situation. Even though the situation are multiplying, they will never overcome your life. Somebody stand up and say, they will never overcome my life. Come on, problems are multiplying. Raise up hands. Raise up hands. Problems are doing what? Are multiplying. But he reminded who? Isaiah. He says, even though they are multiplying, never be what? Afraid of them. You're not hearing something here. What he tell Jeremiah, he said, my friend, I have a plan. This plan is not just a plan. He said, but beside that plan, I knew you before you were what? You were born. Raise up hands. But to be honest, if it was true, hey, just raise up and say, if it was true, but because of it's not our own plan, it's a plan of God. He set us apart. He looked at the situation of your mother. He looked at the situation of your father. He looked at the situation of your grandmother. And when he ordained you, he said you are the right person to answer everything. Some of you, you are the answer of your mother. Where your mother, whatever she has never done, she will do it. In fact, God is going to use you to silence all the enemies of your mother. Raise up your hands. Ngachifenda Kobe. Mlenje Kobe. Diwana bayo. Akitiburi Rauri. Read it for me. That's a Proverbs. Read it, the Bible.
The Lord.
Mlenje Kobe ndi mini. Diwana bayo. But what's very busy about mama atwanil utotwana la wena udilana libona. You are not hearing what I'm talking about here. Say Jeremiah was reminded. Can you talk louder and say Jeremiah was reminded? Even myself, I shall be reminded. The plan of God shall come to pass. Read it for me.
Verse 7. The Lord replied, don't say I'm too young.
Don't say what?
I am too young. For you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you.
God is about to send you. Can you just raise up hands? Some of you, God is about to send you. God is about to send you. God is about to send you. Let me tell you something. When the time they were fighting your family, there was no intercessor. When they were fighting your family, there was no a prophet. When they were fighting your family, there was no a pastor. When they were fighting your family, there was no a millionaire. But But God is rising you to come and intercede and begin to speak things and begin to say, this will happen in my family. Whatever you say, it will happen. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak it. Raise my hands. Raise my hands. Listen, mama wa hao na kwela ba mo defeat. Hallelujah. Natsama everywhere. After solution as I told. Now is your turn. When I udula pasi gamatolo and said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Lika paka yasko lekatakaya. People, they will begin to ask themselves and say, what is happening here? Because we are hearing a voice that is communicating with God. Sometimes, how talk a halo ditabatahao? It's here udi seva too. Sometimes tia tabatahao udi se komudimu. How well Isaiah are calm, reason together. And the Bible highway area. The year King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. Raise up your hands. And that year is 2022. You are about to see the Lord. You are about to see the Lord. You are about to see the Lord. Today, how take not only about one about my faster lima curtain. But hey, uro rapela retavona. Can't have eats. Uri unkulunkulu wame. He came and reminded Jeremiah and said, Jeremiah, my child, hey, you are not hearing something what I'm talking about here. A wise man may fall 7 times, but he will come back and rise. It doesn't matter how many times they've defeated you, but this time it is your turn. If Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. Where's my hand?